It should take you exactly and precisely, no more or no less, Tracy, how much time to build a full flip-flopping frickin' clientele. How you like that?
1 day, 6 hours and 30 minutes.
And you're done.
Done.
And if you don't have it done,
Failure.
get out.
Get out. Quit. What are you doing?
I think everybody wants that answer of, it should take me. We all do it. I do it with everything. It should take me X amount of time.
You know you can't. You do. Yeah.
Right. But let's give some, like, I think we have to give some time frames here of, okay, that's a little too short of time. Your expectations are insanely high. And and then the other end of the spectrum of, this is taking you a while. You not that you should, sound the alarm and be super concerned, but you got to get on it. Like, something is not working.
Yeah.
You got to make some changes. So I think we should give those, you know what I mean? Like, sort of like bookend it.
There's certain things that you can't control, and then there's certain things that it might be you.
Right. And I also want to make this clear. What we are talking about here is someone that is full-time. You're not doing this once a week or like a part-time, and that's okay too. It's just going to take you longer.
Takes longer.
Right. What we're talking about here, so that that way you can sort of judge yourself a little bit and say, okay, I'm not doing that much, or, oh wow, I'm doing more. Okay, cool. And just give yourself a little bit of like a guide. That's all this is.
Yep.
It's a guide.
Yep.
But somebody that's full-time, you are putting in a certain amount of hours every day into this, really working, like, let's say 5 days a week to build your clientele. Not like you go to the salon for 30 minutes and nobody shows up and you bail.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I'm not working, so I'm going to do something
Call
else.
me.
Yeah, call me.
Call me.
So, but I want to get your take on that, just so everybody understands, though. That's what we're talking about.
So there's so many different variables in this. Like, what do you consider a full clientele?
So, okay, great question. So let's define that first. So full clientele, I would say is you have a career, you're making enough money, not only paying your bills, but more than that, right? You could save, you can go on vacation. It is providing you with a very a life that is like you are satisfied with, right?
Yes.
Financially, I'm talking about. Like, you're not struggling and, oh my God, I gotta, like, you're making enough money.
Yeah, you're making a living.
You're making a living.
So what I mean by, like, what's your version of, because there are people that I meet that are like, I have 15 clients a week, and that's a full clientele to them.
Okay.
So that's
And
full,
they're making enough money.
But that they're happy, I guess. But that's that, and it might be a time frame. Sometimes when I'm talking to someone that has 15 clients, no, they're not making enough. But they don't know how to fit anymore. That is a full clientele to them.
I see.
So that's where I'm talking. For me, it's more like 30 to 50 clients
a week.
So.
Can we break that down real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to. So if you've got 30 clients a week, I don't want to go by your time frame because it's insane. Like, because you're on the 30-minute. Let's just go in. Can we say an hour per service?
Let's do it. So it's a 6-hour day.
It's a 6-hour day. So exactly. So very reasonable. So I like that. Let's
6 to 8.
6
if
to
you
8.
take a little longer.
6 to 8. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So the other variables, I'm going to throw all this out, and then I can kind of give you some guidelines on what it is. The other variables. What kind of town are you working in? Is there population 12 people? You're
right.
Gonna run into some issues. What salon did you go into? Did you go into a busy salon that gets a lot of traffic? Or did you decide to go into kind of a salon suite situation right out of the gate, and it's more really on you to make sure that people are coming in the door.
Yeah.
Those are two big factors there. Fortunately, I went into a salon that was very busy, had a lot of overflow. I was able to build my clientele full within a year.
Okay. But I do want to say to that, you were not playing around also.
I worked 7 days a week.
Exactly.
7 days. I sat down there whenever, however, you wanted to come in on a Sunday, I'm going to come in on a Sunday.
That's
not how I ended it.
Right.
But that's how I started it.
I believe that's how you should start. Like when you're like, I need to, kind of that back against the wall sort of feeling. I mean, I need to make money.
I need to make money.
Yeah.
You want to come in at 9 o'clock at night? I came in
in.
at 9 o'clock. Again, that's not how I ended. Once you build your clientele, you start weeding people out that you don't want to do. You start fitting in people in time frames that works for you. I'm not a morning person. We all know this. So I preferred to come in more like at 9 o'clock, and then I'd work till 10 o'clock at night. It's how I liked to work.
Right.
So, those are all factors. I sat. It sucked. I sat and I answered phones and I did repairs for the other girls. And I sat and I sat and I sat and I didn't do the whole call me if there's a client. No one has time for that. It's not on them to build my clientele.
Right.
But these are all the factors that you got to take a look at how fast you're going to build your clientele. There are some, techs that it's going to take over a year. You should be getting comfortable. And this is where I was saying where in the beginning where sometimes you got to start looking at yourself. What does that mean? Are you in a year, 6 months in a year, getting people coming in the door, but they're not rebooking?
That's a sign.
On a regular. That is a sign that there's something wrong. I'm not trying to put anyone down, but it's a sign that you're doing something wrong.
There's something going on. There's something going on. Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to get clients that, it's just one time thing. They just wanted it for a party. But on a regular, if you are, let's say in a month you saw 10 new clients and you kept one, maybe two, or I would even, if you kept 5, that's good. I think half is pretty good.
Really good.
But there are things that we have to start looking at. Am I not providing the services that people want? Are my nails not looking right? Is it me? Am I projecting a personality that people are not finding comforting or, professional? Or is it the salon? Is it dirty? There's so many different things.
Right. Which makes it, that's why it's hard,
It's all going to factor into how fast you build your clientele.
Right.
What kind of services are you offering? Hey, Habib comes in. Hey, I want a set of acrylic. I only specialize in gel.
That's it.
And you can.
Sure.
It's cool. But the thing is when we're first starting out, and guess what? I'm working in a mostly acrylic town, but I'm only going to specialize in gel. So I've just shut down 90% of what's going to come through the door.
Doesn't mean that you won't build. It's just going to take you longer.
Time. So you got to put that in there, and you can do that. I always recommend when you're first starting out, do everything. Take what comes through the door. And then again, it's part of that weeding out system. I don't want to work 7 days a week. Neither did I. I ended up, 3 days. And then I went down to 2 days. I just packed them full, but I was able to do that. You only want to do gel. Great. You can start telling your clientele, hey, Habib, I don't want to do acrylic. I'm not going to do acrylic anymore. I love to continue doing your nails, but gel and acrylic, when it walks out the door, it should all look the same. It's just what I prefer to specialize in.
Yeah.
Do you mind transferring over to gel? Or I can recommend some really amazing acrylic techs for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
99% chance Habib's staying in my chair.
Right. Exactly.
So
I really believe, so like when people hear you say, I was able to do it in a year, right? that sounds fast. Like even for me, it sounds fast. But then when you break down, you were willing to take any client, any time, any day, any hour, and make it work. You were in there 7 days a week. You were in there every single day. Then it doesn't actually sound, it sounds just right.
It sounds reasonable.
It sounds reasonable. Like, okay, that makes sense. And then the adjustments that you're able to make, right? You have to be objective in your business. Like, if somebody's not coming back to you, I could see you're like all over it. Like, what happened there? What's going on? You're analyzing. Maybe my nails. Let me reach out and say, hey, are your nails okay?
I've asked my coworkers before. I had a great, I just really, I cannot say enough about the people I worked with when I first got out of school. I was very, very fortunate. And I would ask them and they would tell me, so I would ask them to even come over and look at them before someone walked out the door. It's you got to swallow your pride. You want to get somewhere in life. You're not going to start out famous, as we say. I just want to start out famous. We all have to work towards that goal. So, take advantage of mentorships and y'all quit having so much conflict with people, because you never know when you need that person or you need their help, or just be helpful. That I was very helpful to the girls in the salon. Get their clients coffee. It doesn't matter. Because when someone called, who were they going to think I can't do it? Oh, I'll give it to Tracy.
That eagerness to learn, I think that's such a massive key. Anything that you do, right? Like just that, like, oh my God, I really want to be successful at this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask questions. what are they doing? I'm like staying curious that whole time of like, how are they doing that? Or how come when I had my client, like you're always looking and looking for more and new information that you can apply to your business to make it better. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like constantly. And I could see you doing that like on an insane level for that year. But I think people must understand, like they may be sitting in their chair right now going, dude, it's been 2 years. Oh my God, I'm a failure. Yeah, exactly. It's okay. Right.
It might be the market. It might be where you're at. It takes, every person is different. Every place is different. You may not be as fortunate as I was to have a place that was very busy and overflow and the people willing to mentor Reading, though, kind of a smaller town, we call it, but there was a lot of people getting nails. I was very fortunate, so, I would say that within the 6 months, I was feeling pretty comfortable, so, but also that took on my part a lot of, eating some humble pie on top of it.
You have to.
Yeah.
People like you, they come out of nail school, they get their license, they start doing nails, and in 3 months they're like, how come I don't have a full client? I mean, it's unreasonable, how long, when we started making videos, it took us 9 months of the hard grind. I mean, the intense hard grind before we saw any effect on our business, right? It's like you have to put in the hours and the work, and you also have to have that the ability to be objective, like, shoot, okay, not take it personally, like, oh my God, I messed that up, I quit. Not be so hard on yourself. But you're okay, I'm gonna make that better. Dang it, I missed that, or that didn't go well, or this client, I said the wrong thing, or maybe I didn't communicate this. Mental note, improve. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing that on a consistent basis, it's amazing how it's like always like it's like a slow start, and then
very slow, very painful,
very painful,
very painful. And we always say embrace the suck, because it does. But I've talked about this before. I've had new people come into my salon, and and I always give them the speech, or any tech that comes out of school, like, it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It stinks so bad. It's painful, and there's bad days, and you fail, and you have to keep doing it, and I know, and you got to sit there, and you got to be patient. I know.
You don't know.
Within a month,
yeah, they're struggling.
I've so many, probably very potentially amazing techs who told me that they understood, but they did not understand or didn't understand at all, and ended up not. I mean, my own son, okay? He went to hair school. Not the same as nails, but same process.
Sure.
He been raised around me. He saw me try to grow. I told him. He's seen it. He's heard the speech. And he came out of school and went in, and he's like, Mom, you said it. I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I thought I understood it. It takes 9 months to make a baby, guys. It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight. I've been like listening lately to, like, I've listened to, David Goggins, right? David, like,
yeah.
super
Amazing.
intense, amazing. And like, I've read his books, and a lot of people, it's like too much for them. Right. But I always go back and like re-listen to his podcast again, because he is like that prime example. And he says it himself of like, people only see me now, where I've written these books and where I'll do these like crazy ultra marathons. He's like, nobody has seen the number of times that I started and quit, started and failed, started and quit. Like go in it. I'm just like, that's why I love him, because he's not one of those people that's like, oh, I just made it. It's like,
I started out famous.
It's the number of times that he failed, and he had to like regroup and then go at it again, come at it. Okay, how can I make this better? Like, that is actually how things work.
And I think what we forget is this is a business, right?
Yes.
How long do they typically say it takes to even get a profit going in a normal business?
It's a 5-year. Right. There's that 5-year window where most people quit, but I think it's typically around a 5-year mark.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean,
dude,
it's not going to take you that long. Trust me, if
Right.
you're doing everything right.
Right.
But you got to remember that no business opens their door.
No.
And
starts.
sometimes we forget nails, hair, though we love it, is a business.
Right.
And so you can't expect it. Habib, I used to sit in a restaurant and go, oh my God, if only half of these people came to me. You think about it.
Yes,
You think about it. This is all I
yes.
need. I mean, I remember that, and the failing and the pain, and then going in and sitting, knowing you're not going to have anyone sitting there, and it's going to be so, no one cares.
Nobody cares.
It's awkward in our own brain,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I remember those days.
I used to go into, when in the beginning of when I started working here, with my brother and my mom, and I would have to go pick up stuff at local businesses, right?
Yeah.
Supplies, nail manufacturers that were not around today, crazy, but 23 years ago. And I would go into the warehouse, and it was like one of our warehouses now,
Yeah.
right? And I would just be like, oh my God, look at this. This is like a warehouse and they have like these insane pallets and racking and
consistent orders.
Yes. And look at their computer system where like their invoices are so nice. And like, we didn't have any of that, and I would just be like, man, if we can just get to that point. And now we have a fully automated freaking pick, pack, and shit. It's mind boggling.
Order online.
Yeah,
crazy.
And it goes all the way through. Yeah. So you're right. It's time. It's patience, consistent effort. It's failure. But
no, we don't like to hear it, but it is.
It's true, man. It's true. And I think people actually appreciate us saying that, because we're not trying to be like, dude, you know what? Like, I'm on top of the world.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, dude, that means you're not doing something right. You need to get up every morning at 3 a.m.
Don't do that.
Do 60,000 push-ups first, then start on your business. I have 4 days in my one day, because every 6 hours is 24 hours for me. Like, saying ridiculous
there's
stuff.
A guy that says that.
There's actually a guy that says that.
There's actually a guy that says he gets
3 days or 4 days.
21 days and 7 days.
Yeah. So
bro,
absurd.
you're working 24 hours.
So ridiculous. The reality is, we are weird people just like you. We're not trying to be anything. Yeah. We have eaten dirt a lot. And look, the only difference is we were very, very consistent in our path. And okay, fine, that's not working. I need to change. And I think
too.
if you have those two things, I think ultimately you're gonna be able to build that
I
clientele.
like that. You got to look in the mirror sometimes.
You have to, 100%. Nice, thanks, Trace.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel